Hey guys, King of Charmanders here, and today I bring to you a video on the best Magnamalo weapons guide. All weapon types, and is it the blast meta? This video analyzes the weapons of the featured monster of Season 3. The Magnamalo weapons are the first blast weapons in the game to not come from an Elder Dragon. And this makes it easier to build these weapons because Magnamalo can be encountered on the field. First, we're going to start off with the list of Magnamalo weapons. You have the Sword and Shield, which is called the Sinister Sword, the Great Sword, which is known as the Sinister Blade, the Long Sword, which is known as the Sinister Longsword, the Hammer, which is the Sinister Hammer, the Bowgun, which of course is known as the Sinister Bowgun, and the Heavy Bowgun, which is known as the Sinister Volley. Next up, we move on to our common names, such as the Bow, which is known as the Sinister Bow, the Dual Blades, which is known as the Sinister Blades, the Lance, which is known as the Sinister Spear, a change in name with the Charge Blade with the Sinister Slasher, and back again to the old pattern with the Gun Lance, the Sinister Gun Lance. Next up, we have the Magnamalo weapons forge stats. So the Magnamalo weapons start at grade 4. Their element is Blast, but it's going to be raw for the light bowguns. And the base raw attack is 284, as well as the base element attack being 236. with their base affinity at 0%. And as you upgrade the Magnamalo weapons to max, the base raw attack will rise much higher than the base element attack. So it's going to run away with it. So it's not going to be close or the same or similar, it's going to be way higher. And if you want to build the Magnamalo weapons, here's the forge cost. The forge requirements are 6 Magnamalo scales, which are rarity 1, 2 Magnamalo horns, which are rarity 3, 6 Monster Bone mediums, which are rarity 2, 2 Magnamalo blades, which are rarity 4, and you also need 900 Zenny. Up next, we're going to take a look at the Magnamalo weapons grade 10.5 max stats. Its element, of course, is going to be Blast and raw for bowguns, with its max raw attack at 1817 and its max element attack being 516, with its max affinity being 0%. And like I mentioned before, once maxed out, the Magnamalo weapon's max raw attack is much higher than the max elemental attack. And if you want to be more specific, it's a whooping 1301 points more from the max versus the elemental attack value. Now that we covered the max stats, here are the max materials at 10.5 you need for the Magnamalo weapons. And as you see here, Magnamalo does not need a unique rarity 6 and uses Wyvern gem shards. Magnamalo also requires a lot of other materials to max out its weapons. You see over here, it's quite a lot, so you need a lot of them. In addition, you need 25 weapon refining parts and 428,000 Zenny. And the estimated amount of Magnamalo you'll have to slay is 514 8-star Magnamalo to obtain all the parts needed to max a Magnamalo weapon out. Here's the thing, since Magnamalo uses Wyvern gem shards, all you need are the rarity 5 and below materials to max it out, assuming you are a veteran player and you have all that 90 Wyvern gem shards saved. The good thing about having Wyvern gem shards is that a lot of monsters drop it. The unique monsters though only need 26, 27 within the 20s range, and Magnamalo and everyone else needs 90. So it's still a whole lot more, even though it is not a unique one. So you're going to be spending a lot of Wyvern gem shards if you want to max out a Magnamalo weapon. Next up, we have the Blast Elemental Monster Types Melee Comparison. So here we take a look at all the Blast Elemental Melee Monster Types as of Curse of the Wandering Flame, and there's only 2 of them. But as we see per the data, Teostra weapons are stronger than the Magnamalo weapons. However, Teostra weapons barely beat Magnamalo weapons when it comes to elemental attack value. At 10.5, it's only 6 points higher. This would mean that the ability to proc blast between both weapons are relatively close, despite Teostra weapons being an Elder Dragon level weapon. Of course, Elder Dragon weapons are going to be more powerful, there's nothing to that, but the blast value being that close is really interesting. And now that we've taken a look at the damage, how about their equipment skills? Here we have Magnamalo versus Teostra as far as equipment skills go. And here's an important note, weapons need to be upgraded to grade 8 to unlock all their equipment skills. And Teostra has 2 equipment skills at grade 8. You get Heroics level 2 and Hunter's Unity level 1. While Magnamalo only has 1 equipment skill at grade 8, which is Part Breaker level 1. And the thing is, while Teostra has 2 equipment skills, both are pretty bad and have conditions for them to activate. Either being below HP or having other hunters having the same skill. So you're going to have to rely on other hunters being present, or your HP needs to go below to where you can hunt the next monster. So they're not terrible, they just have requirements. So if you're hunting solo, it's not going to happen. Or if you're going to have to go really below your HP to make heroics happen. And Magnamalo's equipment skill Part Breaker is much more useful overall and pairs well with the Blast element. This because Blast actually does part damage to the last part you inflicted Blast on. So if you're doing Blast on a wing part and then you inflict it on it, Part Breaker will add on to that. Moving on, we have the Magnamalo light bowgun versus the other raw light bowguns comparison. So we're going to look at ranged weapons, and first we're going to look at the light bowgun because Magnamalo light bowgun is actually raw. It doesn't have blast into it or blast shots. And we're going to take a look at all of the raw element light bowgun monster types as of Curse of the Wandering Flame. And all light bowguns will be giving reload speed and recoil down level 3 to maximize their DPS, which is damage per second. And per the data, unfortunately the Magnamalo light bowgun doesn't even come close as one of the best raw light bowguns. It's literally like smack down in the middle, being better than some of the other ones, but the king of raw is actually the Nightshade Paolumu light bowgun. And while it isn't a pure raw light bowgun, it still has the highest raw attack value out of all the current light bowguns in the game. It's technically a raw light bowgun, it's just a sleep light bowgun if you really look into it because it has sleep ammo. But why is it that low? Well, here we take a look at the Magnamalo light bowgun ammo versus the Nightshade Paolumu light bowgun ammo. And this comparison will have reload speed and recoil down level 3 maxed out for max DPS. Now as we see here, the Magnamalo light bowgun has to go through 6 shots of normal ammo before it gets to sticky and pierce. In hindsight, most other normal shots are 5, not 6. And it also has 2 high recoil ammo types. You have sticky ammo plus cluster bomb. And the Nightshade Paolumu light bowgun, on the other hand, has 2 low recoil shots and can cycle to its most powerful ammo types, sticky and pierce, quickly. This means the Magnamalo light bowgun isn't good because of how slow its ammo set is and its lack of a high raw attack value. Nightshade Paolumu's is high, but again, because it can cycle through its ammo much faster, pierce is usually 5 or 6, this one it's 4. But for Magnamalo, to where it limits it is that normal ammo is usually 5 and not 6. Moving on, we have another ranged weapon type, which is the bow. And here we take a look at all the blast elemental bow monster types as of Curse of the Wandering Flame. As we see here per the data, Teostra bow is much stronger than the Magnamalo bow. But this is because the Teostra bow is a super weapon with a bow charge level 3 at damage level 4. So if you look at that type right there, that little blurb, you see it says weapon compensation. With bow charge level 3, you can shoot arrow level 4, calculating time saved as compensation. So it's only 2 blinks instead of 3 blinks, which equals more damage. And let's also take a look at the shot types. So here's the blast elemental monster type bow shot type analysis. And there's 2 of them. We have Teostra and of course we have Magnamalo. While the Teostra bow is a super weapon, with charge level 3 at damage level 4 type. It only needs 2 blinks to get to a damage level 4 shot. Although the kind of limitation for the Teostra bow is it is a rapid type shot, which is the weakest shot type but most accurate bow type. While the Magnamalo bow has pierce level 4. This is the strongest shot type, but it does not have the special type like Teostra bow does. It doesn't have that weapon compensation, so unfortunately you need to go to 3 blinks instead of 2. This makes it that overall, the Teostra bow is better and it will out DPS the Magnamalo bow. And it can also inflict blasts faster.
I had my pieces.
Your pieces?
My guns.
Oh.
Anyway, I started blasting. Bang!
Wow.
Bang! Well, I don't see so good, so I missed. Then they ran away. I ran after them.
Okay.
Bang! Tried to shoot them in the back.
That is one of the most legendary lines in the history of memes. And here is the overall analysis on the Magnamalo weapons. So you're going to be chasing the back of monsters to blast their backs and every other parts on whatever the monster you're facing. But the good thing is Magnamalo is the most accessible monster type for blast weapons because you don't need to do Elder Dragon interceptions. At max, it's totally usable if your main goal is to inflict blast. Elder Dragon interceptions are very expensive. I have a 10-5 Elder Dragon interception weapon, so unless you want to do 150 of them, or less if you get lucky, you might just want to use the Magnamalo weapons. And the Magnamalo weapons can be made for all current weapon types, which means you have 11 weapon types right now, and it can even make it for dual blades and gun lance. And that's why dual blades mains, like me in the main series games, and I use it in Monster Hunter now, it only has current availability for 9 weapon types. It does not have a dual blades and a gun lance, so I guess gun lance users can complain too. But the thing is, the Magnamalo dual blades are the most interesting blast weapon in the game because of its fast attack speed. If you're a dual blades main, you know we hack and slash and we start blasting a lot. And this allows you to quickly build up and inflict blast. As for the charge blade, sadly it's an impact file type like in the main series, so unfortunately the disrespect is still there. Hopefully this guide helps you decide what Magnamalo weapon you want to build. I did not cover the heavy bowgun as we cannot compute the data in mhn.quest yet, so I will make a separate video for the heavy bowgun once it updates. So I'd rather compile all that data rather than pop it into this video because again, we don't have that data. I want to put out accurate data and we don't have the ability to even do that. So I'm gonna wait. Overall, Magnamalo is worth building if you want a blast weapon. The grade 10.5 max value is very close to Teostra as far as elemental goes. So because of that, your odds of inflicting blast are going to be very good because again, it's only 6 points of difference. And I will be making content analyzing the blast dual blades itself as it is the most interesting Magnamalo weapon type because I want to make a name for myself and make things go boom. That being said, please do me a huge favor, like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. I hope y'all are enjoying Season 3. Hopefully your drops are going very well, and you're making all the Magnamalo weapons you need. Good luck on your grinds, and I will see y'all on the next video.